in my Western education, I would go to the doctor and I was healthy because there was nothing wrong with me. There is no concept of illness, of health in the West. There's a concept of illness, but health is the absence of illness. And there is no relationship between our emotions and what happens in our physical body. When people get ill, it happens in the body. We separate the mind and the body. We separate the individual from the environment. And we have enough research that suggests that this is wrong. And yet the insights of science don't seem to penetrate our medical practice. In traditional Chinese medicine, health has a definition, and that is balance. The balance of the yin and the yang, the balance of the circulation of the qi in our 12 meridians. The energy system has to be circulating correctly, and when it's not circulating correctly, we look at why and we correct it. And how do we see that it's not functioning correctly? We look at signs of pain, we look at symptoms, we ask questions about how a person is feeling. Everything has to do with health, not just the physical body. So traditional Chinese medicine sees illness as an expression of a person's violation of nature. It really calls upon you to examine your life and ask yourself, how am I thinking? How am I feeling? What are my habits? What are my values? What are the choices I'm making that perhaps are leading me to illness? The problem is inside of yourself and in your way of life. It is not an external force that comes in and invades your body, and therefore you need an exterior medicine to take it out. It doesn't have to be eliminated. You have to make an internal decision to really make changes in your life that are good for you and good for your health. So the mindset here that I really want to communicate with you is not to detach yourself from health. It's not I'm healthy until I'm unhealthy. No, you actively help your body with the right foods, with the right herbs, meditations, exercise, etc., so that you can live in flow with nature, so that you can be healthy and live in flow with yourself. In our medical system, they say that our psychology and our body are not connected. So what happens when you feel afraid? This feeling of fear immediately turns into a physical response. Your adrenaline levels go up so that you have more energy, more strength, more power for the fight or flight response. Your cortisol is the stress hormone, gets shot into your body. It gives you more sugar so that you can be more energetic. So in the short term, these hormones save your life. But in the long term, they can really hurt you because they suppress your immune system. So so learning how to calm your body when you're feeling stressed or anxious is key to having an active immune system. And there are many ways. I will show you a few. Now, it's not so easy to just not be stressed, of course, but you can check in with your body and yourself and calm yourself down. I'll show you how. So the good news is that what we've seen in research is that if someone is very stressed, but they have high levels of social support, their immune system remains active and is not as affected. If you are very stressed with you have high levels of hormones which are affecting your immune system, and you're alone with this stress, with this hormonal system shooting up, you might be in trouble. But if there's a friend that's sitting next to you that's saying, oh, Stefania, how are you feeling? How are you coping with this very stressful situation? How can I support you? And there's someone listening to you. What happens to your body? So that's the psychological implication. Someone is listening and holding, you're being heard. Your stress hormones relax. Your mind relaxes. Your intestinal muscles in your gut relax, and your stress hormones go way down. And if your stress hormones go down, then the mechanism that is repressing your immune system goes away, and your immune system is protected. They did a fascinating study in Australia with 500 women that had lumps in their body, and before going to check if it was a cancerous or not, they went through a psychological examination. And it turns out that if a woman was stressed, that did not increase the chance of the lump being cancerous. If the woman was emotionally isolated, that did not increase the chances of the lump being cancerous. Now, if a woman was stressed and was emotionally isolated, the risk of that lump being cancerous was 9 times as great as the average. This is how deadly social isolation can be, or emotional isolation can be, and how powerful being in company of others is. Dr. van der Kolk is one of the foremost experts on trauma. And he says, social support is not the same as being merely in the presence of others. The critical issue is reciprocity, being truly heard and seen by the people around us, feeling that we are held in someone else's heart and mind. We are physically isolated, but not socially isolated. And with social support comes having the freedom to express yourself. So yes, we are physically isolated. They shouldn't call it social isolation. They should call it physical isolation. You know, reach out to people you think you can help. And if you feel like you need social support, reach out to the people that can support you too, because it has a profound effect on your immune system. And now I say with social support comes the freedom to express yourself, because another thing that boosts your immune system is expressing your emotions in a healthy manner, expressing your anger, expressing your sadness. These things are super important for your well-being. I really want you to start thinking about your emotions as though they were a physical matter. When you feel anger, imagine it's not just as a feeling, but as a maybe a rock. You know, think of it as a rock that is inside you. And if you feel anger, you know, don't throw it at the person that's making you feel angry. That's a negative way of dealing with your emotions. But a positive way of dealing with the emotion, you know, put the rock on the table. Talk to someone about the rock. See what shape it has, how heavy it is, how much damage it may be causing you. But if you don't express it in a healthy way, and you leave the rock to live inside your body, it's going to have it's going to affect you physically. And the same thing with sadness, the same thing with fear, with sadness. It's the same story. So please start thinking of your emotions as something physical and not as an abstract concept, because this will help you stay mentally healthy and will keep your immune system strong. So when you're stressed or anxious, you reach out. You know, we tend to immediately reach out for medication, but you are your own medicine. And there are different ways, but I'm going to show you 5 ways that you can calm your body, that you can not eliminate your anxiety, but, you know, if we go from a scale from 0 to 10, at least bring it down to 5. It's already a success. So the first meditation, it's called Anapana meditation. I won't be able to do these for a very long time, but I'm going to show you the technique so you can practice it yourself. Anapana meditation is a meditation I learned when I did a 10-day Vipassana, 10-day silent meditation retreat. And we normally do Anapana for 4 days, for 12 hours a day. So you don't have to do it that extreme. And it's very simple. So you stop, first of all, and you breathe. You breathe, you inhale through your nose and you exhale through your nose. And as you're doing that, you please do it with me, because then you're not just looking at me, but we can practice together. You inhale through your nose and you can think, the only thing you want to think about is if the oxygen is going in through both your nostrils, through one nostril, and you imagine the air coming up, and then you breathe out. And you imagine the air coming down. Well, you don't imagine, you visualize it coming down. And you can feel the air on your upper lip. And you do that. So we can try it again. Visualize your breath coming in. And visualize your breath coming out. You don't have to breathe in a specific form. You just breathe and visualize the air coming in and coming out. You can do this anywhere. I'm already calm. I don't know about you. I wish I could ask you. The second technique is diaphragmatic breathing. The answer is in your breath, guys. So the more breathing, more different ways you can find to breathe, the better for you. Diaphragmatic breathing, you know, when you consciously engage in a slow breathing, you activate your vagus nerve. And your vagus nerve is responsible for relaxing your body and mind. So your heart rate will slow down, your blood pressure drops, you can feel it. So when you breathe, I need to get up. Try, you don't need to see my face. Put one hand, and please do it with me. Put one hand on your tummy and put another hand on your chest. And as you take a deep breath, make sure that this hand rises before your chest. And if your chest doesn't move, it's even better. And take a deep breath from your stomach, your diaphragm. So you go 5 seconds, breathe in. You hold it for 6. So 1, 2, 3, hold, 5, 6. And you exhale in 7. Through your mouth, and you can even put strong energy into it. So go. And inhale again from your tummy. Hold it for 6. And let go in 7. Make a noise. This is your diaphragmatic breathing. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let go in 7. Okay. Another exercise I like to share with you is a Qigong exercise. Qigong is also traditionally Chinese. It's called the microcosmic orbit that you do with your breath. So you circulate your body from the perineum, which is, you know, from your bum, basically. You circulate through your body all the way around. So this is how it goes. When you breathe in, imagine your breath going up the spine, all the way up to your third eye. So let's do it together. Let's breathe. So we breathe in from the perineum, so from here, and imagine the breath coming up. So let's deep breath. Hold your breath for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale and imagine your breath coming all the way down. So between your legs and to your perineum. This is the microcosmic orbit. Okay? You keep doing this. This super oxygenates your blood, super oxygenates your brain, and your synapses, they're firing. They love it. And what's really great about this exercise, it's not hard. It's so good for you. And you can do it anywhere. No one will know actually what you're doing. You don't have to breathe in a dramatic way. You can breathe in a normal way. The important thing is that you visualize your breath doing an orbit coming around. It's really good for your chi meridians. So the next exercise is not a breathing technique, because I think I've given you enough to start with. It's writing, it's journaling. And this is, sometimes people think it's childish and they don't want to do it, but writing down your best and worst of the day really helps out sorting through the obstacles that you've had during the day. You become aware of what went right and what went wrong. You can see the things that happened, and you can evaluate what you can control and what you cannot control. And just, you have a conversation with yourself where you realize what your reactions and your coping mechanisms were when certain things happened. And I started doing this. It really helped me, because you go through your day, all these things happen, and then you forget about so much about what happened. And when it's all concentrated, it's a very powerful reflective exercise. And the fifth technique I have for you is actually one of my favorites, and you can teach your children as well, because it's sweet and it works with children as well. And it goes like this. You bring your thumbs together. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And every time you move your thumb to a finger, you go like this. Peace. Take a breath. And exhale. Starts with me. Please do it with me. Okay? I can't see all of you, but I hope you're with me. Peace starts with me. One more time. Peace starts with me. This is a good one. Actually, I use this one a lot, because in a moment where your thoughts are kind of invading your moment, your life, your space, and you have these thoughts you want to get rid of, this one really grounds you and brings you to the present moment. So peace starts with me. So these are techniques that will relax your body, relax your mind. If your body is relaxed, if your mind is relaxed, your immune system will not be repressed by the hormones, by the stress hormones. This is the mechanism I really want you to remember. When you feel stressed or anxious, as long as you have emotional support, and as long as you have meditations or techniques to calm your body can be relaxed. If your body is relaxed, your immune system will not be repressed. So what's another way that your mind, body, and immune system are connected? It's through your gut. 70% of your immune system is actually in your gut. So living inside your gut are trillions of microorganisms, you're an organism, so you have little organisms that are mainly bacteria that are communicating directly to your brain. So what is in your gut is directly affecting your mind. One of the first things we do when my clients come to me with digestive issues is talk to them about their feelings of stress and their feelings of anxiety and work on their relaxing mechanisms. The body is not separate from the mind. So your feelings of happiness, motivation, or pleasure that you think may come from your brain, they don't. They come from your gut. 95% of your serotonin, which is the neurochemical that makes you happy, is made by these little microorganisms in your gut, and then they send the information to your brain. 50% of your dopamine is actually made in your gut. Dopamine is the neurochemical that makes you feel motivated or aroused, or that makes you feel pleasure after something happens. So these neurochemicals are made in your gut and then sent up to your brain. So what does this mean? What is in your gut and the health of your bacteria directly affects your mind. they did a study where they tweaked the balance between the beneficial bacteria and the disease-causing bacteria in a mice's gut, and it changed their behavior to make them feel more anxious. And they've also taken gut bacteria from a human being that was depressed, and they put the bacteria into mice, and the mice started showing depressive characteristics. So what's in your gut affects your mind. So what's in your gut also affects your immune system. These microorganisms communicate with immune cells, and they influence how your body responds to infection. So if you have a strong family of bacteria, it is vital for your immune system to be able to fight off viruses and pathogens that may be attacking your system. What I really want you to think about is that when you eat, don't just think of food as something that's tasty. Don't just think of food as something that quenches your anger or doesn't make you fat. You really actively, I want to invite you to really think actively, what can I eat that will be good for these microorganisms in my gut? Because now you know they keep your immune system healthy, they keep your mental health strong, and your physical health strong. So what are the right foods to eat? Traditional Chinese medicine is based on the Taoist principles of the yin and the yang. So people's constitutions are classified by yin and yang theory. And by constitution, I mean the genetic qualities that you're born with. So a yang person is a person, and think of which one you are. So yang is a person that is energetic, that is an extrovert, that is, kind of also all over the place, that's always moving. That the sun is yang, very talkative. A person that is yin is calm, introverted, more earthy, more spiritual. They have a tendency to be more cold. The moon is yin. So a person who by constitution, so genetically, is yin will eat very differently to a person that is yang. Yin people need to avoid yin foods like dairy or raw food because it can make them very lazy. And in the extreme, couch potato-ish, because the yin person is not prone to exercise. And if they eat more foods that make them be more earthy, they're not going to move. So what they can eat is chili and green tea and warm foods. Even coffee will balance them out. I don't normally recommend people to drink coffee because of reasons that is too complicated to explain right now. But for example, if you're yin, then I can recommend you drink coffee because it goes with your energetics. A yang person is so all over the place that they need to balance themselves out by eating grounding foods. So a yang person, they would eat root vegetables. If they're not too yang, then they can eat some meat because it's earthy. It kind of brings them back to the ground. Cooling foods is good for them because it calms them down. And definitely, I'm more yang than yin. Definitely no coffee for me, no chili for me, because it makes me more yang. Well, I need to is come down to earth. So if a yin person starts being healthy and they start eating cold raw foods every day, they're actually killing their vibe. They're killing their energy because they're eating the contrary of what they need. Whereas a yang person would be thriving with cold raw foods. I'm making a big differentiation between yin and yang so that you understand the point. There's actually 4 different types in Chinese medicine. So this is so interesting for me as a psychologist because a person that presents depressive symptoms, I'm not going to treat one person with depression that is yin and one person that has depression that is yang the same way, because they need to be eating different things and they need their energy systems are completely different. So after you have checked your constitution, then you have a framework for your food habits and you can apply the longevity diet. Yeah, so it's not about the healthy foods. Of course it is, but that's not the main thing. It is about the right foods that work for the energetics of your body. So what are the foods that are good for you? In a nutshell, if I really were to explain it, I would say eat the foods that our ancestors were eating before the Industrial Revolution. This is it. So what are these foods? When you choose your foods, eat organic food, eat whole foods, not processed foods. So what is whole foods? Whole grains, brown rice, kamut, bulgur, non-processed. If you eat wheat, eat whole wheat, organic whole wheat, wheat. They have the least toxins and they have the most nutrition. Also, if you will be eating every single day of your life. So if you're gonna eat, at least do it right. If you're gonna breathe, breathe right. So the other thing is learn the source of your food. This is really important, and I know it's really hard depending on where you live, and I know it's really hard because sometimes it's very expensive. And I'm very lucky. I go to the farmers market every Saturday. I live in London. I go to Notting Hill. There's a beautiful farmers market. And the food I eat goes from the farm to the farmers market to my kitchen to my mouth and to my friend's mouth. You know, this is beautiful. This for me is a privilege. And the least steps between the production of the food and the way it comes in, the better. So learn the source of your food to avoid a toxic food chain. Have a plant-based diet. We know this, and if you do eat meat, then at least have grass-fed meat. It has more omega-3. It's much healthier. And fish also, yeah, the way I eat my fish is I try to eat the smallest fish possible so that there's less toxic food chain as well. Fermented foods. This is where it starts getting fun. Fermented foods are the ones that are really good for your gut. So we know how much a healthy gut is important. What's really good for your gut are probiotics and prebiotics. So probiotics are, we call them beneficial, or these healthy bacteria that help your gut. And prebiotics, you can think of it as like the food that feeds the probiotics. But what I want to say about these fermented foods is that you can make them at home. I teach my clients how to make them at home. It's not difficult. Like, I have my kombucha at home, and I have kombucha every single day. And it's wonderful. It's delicious, and it's super easy to make. If you're going to buy yogurt, make sure it has live cultures in it. Mushrooms have been used as food and medicine and poison, and also spiritual practices and religious rituals from at least 5,000 BC. So the most medicine of our age is penicillin, which is actually derived from a fungus called penicillium. And the most potent hallucinogen, LSD, has also been derived from the fungus Claviceps purpurea. Sadly for science, mushrooms' anti-tumor and immune boosting characteristics have only been deeply studied in the last 60 years. But they are powerful, powerful, powerful immune supports. They really can be. The way I encourage you to use these mushrooms I'm going to give you is you can use them daily as teas, as tonics, or food, depending, you'll see. You can buy them in tinctures and capsules and teas, or have them as lattes. The first one is reishi. Reishi, I drink it instead of, I don't actually drink coffee. I drink it as a treat. So reishi I have in a latte. So reishi is a supreme protector. It's a beautiful mushroom. You can look at it. It's known as the mushroom of immortality. It can be a sedative in short term. So it is good for calming anxiety. And in the long term, it builds energy and increases your stamina. So it's very good also for people who want to use it as a natural antidepressant. Next one is chaga, which is less beautiful, but very powerful. Chaga is a powerful protector of our immune system. The reason is it contains antiretroviral properties. It supports against RNA viruses, and what this means in basic terms, is that it stops the virus from replicating in the body. And this is the power of chaga. So you can have that in your as a latte as well, although it's stronger than reishi, so it goes by taste. This is a beautiful mushroom. This is called turkey tail, but this is an antiviral. It's actually a very common mushroom. It has been used as early as the 15th century during the Ming Dynasty in China. The Japanese call it the kawaritake, or cloud mushroom. So take means mushroom, kawari means cloud, and it's called the cloud mushrooms. The cloud-like image that you can see symbolizes longevity and health, spiritual attunement and infinity to these Asian cultures. In traditional Chinese medicine, we use turkey tail to promote general health, strength, and longevity. So it is used normally for flu. Actually, it's used for a lot of things: for flu, for cancer treatment, for patients that are going through chemo. It heals infections, and it's really good for your gut. So this is also a must-have. These three I have at home, and I have on a daily basis. Well, not every day, but often enough. This is cordyceps. It's actually a mixture. It's a really rare combination of a caterpillar and a fungus that is found at an altitude above 4,500 meters in Sikkim, in India. Traditional healers and local people of North Sikkim recommend this mushroom for all illnesses as a tonic. When I say tonic, I mean a drink that you can have every day. They claim that it improves energy, your appetite, is regulated, it increases your stamina, your libido, your endurance, and it regulates your sleeping patterns. So they take it either as a single medicine or combined with other herbs. But it has a reputation of being a longevity promoting herb. Let's see. Oh, here are the beautiful images I found. So the next one is maitake. This is take is mushroom. Mai means dancing, so this is the dancing mushroom. It's been used in traditional Chinese medicine and Japanese medicine for its anti-cancer and antiviral and immune enhancing properties for thousands of years. And it's very common, you can find it easily. And shiitake grows from the shi tree, and it's an anti-tumor and an immunity booster, and it protects your DNA from oxidative damage. It also contains lecithin, which is one of the most powerful immune stimulants and restoratives known. I discovered shiitake at a very young age. I actually don't remember. I think I was 12 or 13. My stepfather had cancer, and they went to see, they called her Wichipu. They went to see a witch doctor who was also an oncologist. And she gave him shiitake mushrooms as a medicine. So we were eating shiitake mushrooms every single day at home. So I know it's from her that it's very powerful. And by the way, they're so delicious. Maitake and shiitake, they're really yummy to have. So I didn't show you the picture. There's my beautiful picture I found. I thought it looked delicious. The next 5 things I want to share with you, and then we will close, are immune boosting ancient herbal teas. So I chose my favorite ones. Astragalus root is called the Great Protector. It is one of the most widely used immune tonifying herbs in traditional Chinese medicine. It is primarily used as a lung tonic, and it's extremely helpful in increasing resistance against respiratory infections. It's highly used during the COVID-19. It is also a digestive tonic. But one of the main things is it increases B cells. And B cells are cells in your immune system that produce antibodies. So this is why it's so good for your immune system. So this one is called Gynostema giangulan. This is actually what I'm drinking right now. This one is called the Tea of Immortality in China. It regulates your metabolism and supports your weight imbalance and regulates your immune system as well. And it kind of works like ginseng. If you need the energy, it will give you the energy. If you want to relax, it relaxes you. I drink it in the mornings when I wake up, and I love it. It's sweet, and it really does just feel healthy. So this is the Tea of Immortality. So if you want to stay young forever, drink it. This is Hushu Wu, which is also one of the most powerful Chinese medicines. It's said to be the most powerful extractor of qi from the earth of any plant. So qi, for those who don't know, I didn't explain it before, is the vital force. Qi is the energy that runs through us, that keeps us alive, and that runs through the energy that connects us with nature. Everything is energy. If you want to think of it in scientific terms, or in modern science, it would be what kinetic energy is seen as, but it's kind of like kinetic energy mixed with vital force. And so Hushu Wu is said to be one of the most powerful extractors of qi in the earth. So the root of the Hushu Wu stores the qi from the earth, and it must be prepared with black beans to release its power and to also eliminate its laxative action, which I'm sure you won't want. So it quickly replenishes the energy that you have lost during chronic or acute stress. If you've been overworking, this is a really good tea to be drinking. If you are having too much sex, this is a really good tea to be drinking. So if you're suffering from stress or suffering from too much sex, depending on how lucky you are, this is a really good tea. But be careful because it has to be prepared, and you can buy it prepared as well. And it's, it's quite miraculous. It acts very quickly. So licorice root is another one. Licorice root, we all know this one. Some of us love it. Some of us hate. I hate licorice, but I don't mind it so much in tea. This is a preventative. It's an assistant. It's known for treating lung infections. So it's another one that's being used during the COVID-19. And a lot of herbal remedies have licorice in them because it sweetens the decoctions, because Chinese herbal decoctions could be quite strong. And the last one is actually one of my favorite ones because it's so beautiful. It's a flower. It's a pretty yellow flower. And it's native to China and Japan. It is associated with the lung and the liver meridians. And it's known to release, to pacify the liver and release toxins. And it clears heat, so it's a cooling herb. I've really come to the conclusion that the human body is like a plant. We need to look at the environment inside and outside a person. We need to adjust, we need to rebalance, we need to nourish, care. When we make changes, we need to watch, grow, watch the changes happen, adjust, watch, grow. Human bodies are complex organisms that can heal themselves if they're giving the right energy source. I'm not a doctor, and I don't pretend to be, but I really think I believe in the power that we have and the power of nature to protect ourselves and to heal ourselves with the natural medicine that's been available to us in this existence. So you can do it. You can support your body's natural ability to defend itself, understand the energetics of your body, stick to the longevity diet, incorporate these medicinal mushrooms into your diet. You have the information, you can buy it. Maybe not all of them if it's too much, but buy some of them. Incorporate these immune boosting herbal teas I gave you, drink them in the morning, at night. You can calm your mind by doing some of the exercises I gave you. Express your emotions in a healthy way, and develop an authentic community and support group. This is vital. Don't dismiss this. This is really important. We've seen, I've shared with you the studies that show what a difference. There are many more studies, but I can make another one to talk about stress and illness. I can talk for hours about it. So really think of your community, of your tribe. You know, the only cure is compassion and solidarity with yourself, with other people. This crisis is really asking people to consider more harmonious ways of living, connected to each other, connected to nature. I have people asking me about their well-being that never even considered it. So it's beautiful. So I think we can really ask ourselves, you know, how can I be in the present moment, regardless of what happens? This is, you know, this Eastern Buddhist idea. The idea of impermanence is really important. Everything changes and we are not in control. And crisis is a combination of danger and opportunity. And in fact, the Chinese use 2 characters to write the word crisis. One stands for danger and the other stands for opportunity. And thank you very much. I will be taking questions now. How often do you need to drink these teas, take these mushrooms? So all the teas, the Chinese herbal teas that I gave you and the mushrooms I gave you are, you can use as daily tonics. You can take them every single day. The licorice, be careful because it increases your blood pressure. So be careful with that.